The story you are about to see is based on a world facing extinction at the hands of the undead. It is a world where only the dead survive with ease. It can be dark, brutal, and harrowing at times. Join us as we fight to survive against a never-resting, never-stopping, never-ending enemy.
Hello survivors, and welcome back to Zealand, Las Vegas. In the last episode, our survivors left the gas station after having looted it for some supplies and ran smack into their first horde. Not really knowing what to do, they tried to turn around and kind of just ended up parallel parking next to each other, and were fortunately saved by some military members who gunned down a bunch of zombies with their 50 caliber weapons. They made the grass grow. They proceeded to leave Las Vegas proper, heading towards their final destination, or their planned destination of Mount Charleston. They were flagged down by the military members, and were told basically that they too were heading to Mount Charleston to meet up with somebody they called the Colonel. They spoke to a couple of them and agreed to follow them. Chloe received a message from me again in game, stating that I had heard the message from Charles, and that I would join if possible. And they were given a document full of the backstory, essentially, the lore to the virus. They haven't had a chance to really look at it yet, but they know it's there. Chloe's she's riding past her, so she's kind of flicking through it. And in the future, they will have a little bit more time to go through it and understand more in depth the threat that they're facing. So again, today we're joined by Chloe.
Yeehaw.
Matt.
Hi.
Gabe.
Hello.
Mitch.
Hello.
And Jesse.
Hey.
Howdy.
So when we last left off, like I said, they were turning off of I-95, having kind of weaved their way through traffic here and there, and they're heading towards Mount Charleston, a mountain northwest of Las Vegas, a very sparse population compared to the city. At the very end of the message they received from me, I said, watch out for the local populace. They can be a bit dickish. And that's where we go back to the adventure.
So, immediately after I was done flicking through it, saw there was no videos, saw what I saw just by skimming and slightly reading, I did hang up preemptively,
Right.
because that's what I would do. I'm going to be real. So then at this point, I would end up calling back Mitch.
So you see a call coming through from Chloe and you hit ignore. Okay. You answered the call.
Thanks.
I'm driving.
And driving, you can't talk now. What's up?
Be like,
There's a cop in front of me, kinda.
hey, is it cool for me to talk just a tiny bit?
Yep.
The windows up and stuff?
You have like 20 minutes because Star's getting spotty up here. So,
Yes.
Oh.
For those of you that are familiar with the area, as bad as the current cell service is, I know at least with a certain company that rhymes with the Sobel, it dies out about 10 miles into Mount Charleston.
So,
I'll roll my windows up. Verizon doesn't do much better.
Right. Don't sue us, please. We don't have any money. We have 40 minutes to try.
so we heard from Wells, he'll try to meet up with Charles. And there's some other things. I'm just gonna say it, this is clearly some government-made zombies. This is me.
who's Charles?
Don't you worry about it. You should already know. No, you don't. We don't know.
So since Matt did not take the time as a busy college student to watch the episode, or any of them, Mitch, essentially communicating with me via the Gmail drive that we've all used to share resources in the past, sent me a message, because I'm out at my base, that, hey, this is Charles, we're going to meet in the place. And he gave a description that would make sense internally to our group. Not necessarily somebody outside that may have intercepted the message. Gave a kind of a coded message that I'm heading towards a place, which we all interpreted as Mount Charleston. So then that was my response back.
Okay, so I didn't say it was Charles. I knew that already.
I could believe that you completely forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, let's be honest, I totally did.
That's fine. I'm glad you're back.
It was 3 in-game hours ago. You completely forgot about it.
A lot has happened in
I've been
3
kind
hours.
of busy, trying not to shit myself.
And abandoning half of the friends that you've made over the last few years playing D&D. Other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But
I still need buddies.
yeah, he sent us some info to look over when we were all together and in a safer establishment that we should not look at in front of the other people that we're going with, you know what I mean?
Would you have downloaded this to your phone, or have you just looked
Yes,
at
I've downloaded it. Yes.
Oh no.
GM hint? No, there's no virus. She's not being hacked by the Ukrainians. Just you guys are going up to Mount Charleston, and there's no cell service. I want to make sure she still has access to the files.
Yeah. Start hearing Russian music playing through my radio.
It's just me humming like.
Please.
Never mind, it's just a dumb joke.
Yes,
Yeehaw.
please regale us with some Russian music.
I want to hear you hum the Russian anthem.
I'm not gonna.
Do the dance. So, Mitch, you're in the lead vehicle of your convoy, and you're following the 2 Humvees. Jesse, behind you is the M-Map.
Of course.
I'm
So-
staring at it through the back window.
So
like,
I break.
So looking
You're dead.
behind you, Chloe, you just see the two people, the drivers. You don't see anything else. You just see 2 men driving in a big military vehicle, and they're just they're geared up. The passenger waves back at you,
I don't like.
so you continue on.
You guys in tower and gate. I'm sorry.
He's not fighting it. Is there anything you want to do or talk about? Because having spent time up in Mount Charleston, you've got about a 20-minute drive before you hit anything resembling like civilization. It's just a lot of empty road.
There's like firefighter stations and stuff.
Yeah, but there's not the traffic that you've seen. There are some vehicles stalled out on the side of the road. Again, kind of some with blood.
Some with
Correct.
fire written on 'em.
Some with plaid written on the side. Some just doors open and nobody visible. But it's not as thick as it was in the city proper. You see maybe 3 or 4 cars here and there every quarter mile. It's not like a steady stream.
Not thick at all.
But you do know that Mount Pleasant itself had a much smaller population of about maybe 300 to 400 people at peak tourist season. There are people that live up there, but they do rely heavily on tourism. There's a lodge, there's hotels, they do Airbnb.
A lot
I do
of
Airbnb.
probably a lot of summer homes for the fancy people who build the little weird mansions on the cliffs.
For the people that drink their tea with their pinkies up.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, they're bougie. It's awesome.
People
Just
that
like
drink-
I can do that.
people that drink solely-
Can.
Like the local IPAs.
I drink my mysterious contents of Solo Cup with my pinky up.
They can't see what this is from here. I
They
can't-
cannot see the A&W root beer logo on your can, you are correct. Please sponsor us. So, again, you're just kind of following at this point. You're following the 2 Humvees. Is there anything within your vehicle you want to discuss, or over the open comms you have between the 2 vehicles? So we'll start with Chloe and work our way to the right. If there's any conversations you want to strike on back and forth.
What are we gonna do whenever service goes out? Are we just gonna continue to hand signal each other and hope for the best?
I always thought we could do a really fun game of like charades.
Or we could eventually find some sort of radio communication that has to be somewhere.
Or we get out of the car.
Shortwave radios.
Well, we're not in the contract, so.
Up in a string running between
Yeah,
the 2 cars.
That's what I'm saying. There's no need for a radio.
Really.
I know, but once it goes out.
Yeah, we only have 12 feet of string. You got to stay really close to the vehicle.
Bad reception because the air kind of kicks the string around. That's all I hear.
If you wrap the string in wax, it's encrypted. Keeps you from hacking it.
Is that oh.
We're leaving that in the video.
Until a bird fucking gets clotheslined by us, yanks our only form of communication away.
Drop the
We
call.
have a really pissed off eagle.
Zombie eagle, a zeagle.
Oh god.
Dun, dun, dun.
A
Maybe just
Zoltris.
invented a new gun.
So, Matt, anything you want to say or do while we're driving down?
I mean, honestly, I'd probably just be in the back seat, just trying not to freak out, because this is new to me. You know.
The whole zombie apocalypse thing?
Yeah, not every day.
It's totally new.
Trust me.
Oh, my bad. You've hiked a lot out there. Like, you know Mark Austin.
Okay.
It depends on what vacation his family is taking this month.
True. Matt is a world traveler.
Yes, Alaska and New York.
In Arizona
7 times a
and.
It's fancy.
World of America.
And yeah, but otherwise, I'm not really gonna talk about much unless someone talks to me.
All right. Gabe riding shotgun with Mitch, having check in your handy working rearview mirror, nice clean window minus the face chunks.
We're gonna
I'm not looking at that face shot.
No. That's all I need to hear.
I'm just like, not yet.
You're
not helping.
You're still kind of shook up, like Gabe. You're still kind of shook from what you saw on the highway, and you're still seeing the same type of thing, but with less frequency as you drive towards Mount Charleston.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, you're basically you just keep kind of playing in a loop. You left your sanctuary, you left the apartment that you knew was relatively safe for the open road, which brings about its own challenges. And that just kind of plays through your mind as the miles pass and the road ticks by outside the windows.
I'm gonna reach over to him, just kind of like grab at his hand.
Aw. Is this like a Lady in the Tramp moment? Are you guys gonna share some spaghetti? Sorry. I broke up your moment. Sorry. Continue.
Look, I know things don't look good, but we've gotten through a lot together. This is definitely some of the worst, but we've stuck together through and through, and I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
This is a pep talk over the speaker.
You're in the same car. You're
I
in
know, but I have the phone.
Oh, yes. Yes, very good point. You all are hearing this pep talk. You, Jesse and Chloe.
And I'm in the car, so.
Yeah, you're hearing this magical moment, like Lifetime special, going on over the Bluetooth of your car.
I mean it, brother. We're gonna be okay. What he said. Oh shit. Yeah, you guys too. We're gonna be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna be good.
We're gonna be good.
Gabe's like, you go back into your eyeball tear. It's not your time yet.
Yeah, what he said is like, yeah, we're gonna be good. I look at these two.
We're so fucked. You're so dead. We're all your dad.
My hand just shifts to cover the phone. We're so
What?
I just see him through the bag in the mirror. He's lying to us. Yeah, you just see my head shaking.
Roll insight. Mitch, is there anything specifically you want to? Again, right
That
now.
was my job.
Well, I'm saying but is there anything you want to do initiate? Like,
I'll turn on the radio. I'll set up my music to go through, which works in offline mode.
okay, so you have your playlist playing. I'm assuming it's. I don't know what to assume. What you're
Music.
You don't
I just-
assume that's
like the Venga Boys are
And
playing.
obviously,
Dun, 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 dun,
hardcore
dun,
poker
dun,
band.
dun, 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 dun. Polka.
No.
You should actually own it Tejano. Jesse, as we're driving along, is there anything you wanted to do or discuss?
I really have no idea what to say. I'm mainly going to be keeping an eye out, watching the vehicles that are accompanying us, making sure like nothing's going on, nothing shifty, keeping an eye out on sides to see if maybe something made it in the desert, and it's like sees us and is like chasing us down?
Give me a perception check. Flat. Since you're driving, you obviously have to focus on the road.
Yeah.
But if you're just kind of like occasionally glance around, go ahead and give your perceptions flat.
Rubberneck.
Fail.
You see,
You hit
I
a
mean,
rock.
you died. No. You plowed no Humvee. No, I mean, you're driving along and you're doing the like check left, check right, check rear view. You see Chloe just kind of, she's doing the same. She's looking around. You see Mitch, his vehicle in front of you. But those of you that have driven out to Mount Charleston, like the road starts to dip down into rocks, and that's really all you can see. Now, actually, let's go ahead and bring it up on the map.
Like our car, all three of us, you two look ahead, we're just going.
You just headbang on.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're
It's
like,
gonna
yeah,
take me a bit to
play some
remember.
music. It might be faster just by now.
It's true. This is the road. Yeah.
That's
That was right.
mountain.
50
That's
seconds.
not the road.
Hmm.
Is it?
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
road. Yeah.
It's going the wrong way though.
Not the actual fuck.
Silly Google.
Tricks
Oh, yeah,
we should stop
That's
there.
You should totally stop. You should totally stop. Well, all the way back.
All right. So as they're driving along, this is Mount Charleston in the distance.
This is what the road looks like, everybody.
They're just
There's
kind
no
of,
dead bodies in it.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
except they have a whole lot of vehicles kind of littering the road.
Like 2. 5.
Like that car right there, totally full of dead people.
All of the deads.
I know
Pass
that.
by like instead of you hear the you know when you swerve a little bit, you just like pass by a car, you hear them motor.
Yeah, the gunners taking them out.
It is Apex, so.
True. Apex is lethal to say
Look at all that
the
snow.
I'm like,
Let's just see a
God,
bit more.
who chose to do this game in Las Vegas? This is so desolate.
I know, right?
Us.
Brycon's playing in like New Zealand. There's like zombie sheep, all sorts of cool shit.
God, zombie.
Once again,
There's
if
Zeep.
Ryland, Roland, whatever his name
Rycon.
is, Rycon, forgive me.
I think you're better off zooming out and then
There's so much desert.
Rycon wants to watch
Yeah, it's
it.
almost like we're going up a mountain.
It is weird, right?
He,
I think
right
this is
here.
where-
Yeah, right here.
You can start
But
seeing the
if
veins on the mountain.
Rycon wants to watch this, he don't know what this looks like. He deserves a little
Okay.
knowledge.
This is what you're talking about?
Yes. So,
it's like fuck it, yes it is.
right. All right. So as you're driving along, Jesse, you roll. You're looking around. You can't really see anything over the hills. This is kind of where the road is chunking down a little bit into the terrain. And as you continue along, you don't really see anything else other than just the Humvees and Mitch in front of you and them right behind you.
Can I perception check as well?
Absolutely, go ahead. Give me a roll. Again, just you actually, since you're not driving, give me a plus 20.
Pass. 29.
So, same. You're looking around and you don't really see anything. You see up in the sky, you see some birds flying around. Some like hawks, some buzzard type thing. You don't see really anything, although along this here ridge, looking up right here, right at the top,
The zombie on a horse.
horse zombies. That would be terrifying.
Zeros.
Horses are evil as it is. Making them a zombie horse would be even worse.
Let's talk about the zombie
You
road.
see a silhouette. It looks like what was your roll again?
29.
Okay.
Average.
You see a smaller four-legged creature. It looks like maybe a coyote or a dog or something like that.
Coyote.
Coyote, I like it.
A fox. Zombie fox.
You see something trotting along. It's not making a beeline for you, but you see it clearly silhouetted against the sky. It is going on like 3, 4 o'clock now, so the sun is getting a little lower, but it's a pretty clear silhouette along the ridge line.
I'd be like, ooh, Jesse, look, that's cool. Coyote or something.
It's a coyote.
Coyote. I like it.
Because I always
right,
do that.
yeah.
Whenever I'm on a trip or something and I see a bunny, I'm like, there's a bunny, there's a moth,
You mean
there's a
something?
this.
Yeah, as a dad, I always say, look, cows when there's cows.
There's
A
cows.
sow.
A sow.
It's
There's cows.
it's
There's
a
never
law
cows.
of road trips to be like, look, cows.
You have to point cows out, or else they don't exist.
Yeah,
Like
cows are
Wyoming.
also evil.
Like
It's
Wyoming.
time to eat time.
I'm pretty sure Wyoming doesn't actually exist.
The
That's
ones
just a
out there
theory.
talk to me.
But the ones I met tried to kill me.
Alright, so you all continue on.
They're like,
So we're like, hopefully it's not affected. Then how are you taking this?
Hopefully it's a cool one.
Chloe.
But
how are you taking this?
How are you taking this?
How
are
you
you guys
doing?
asking me this?
I'm asking you while in the car.
Oh,
Yeah, remember, we're
They're rocking out to the Bangabus.
I'm like,
Bangabus.
well,
That's different.
this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm a little shook. I'm gonna use the new generation's terms.
Hashtag shit.
But you know, nervous laughter makes it all better.
Okay, no.
I think that, excuse me.
to play my music. We would have had to hang up the call, by the way.
That's fine by me. I'm sure it's fine
But,
by them too. So you guys,
receptions would have been dead by this point anyway.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling about this, especially because, you know, from what I believe, from what Wells sent, this is clearly all due to the government. So if we're with the government, they must know how to fight this. Just kidding. I don't really know. I have no clue. I'm nervous. Haha.
Okay.
Well,
Also, one more thing. If things get bad, please shoot me. Like,
oh boy.
I want a painless death.
roll diplomacy with a -20 because you're trying to convince your friend to shoot you.
Okay.
And you
Can I
also
reroll that?
roll diplomacy. You're going to be opposing because she's trying, like, even though she's laughing, it sounds like a part serious. Like every joke has a nugget of truth in it.
All right, audience. Look down the bottom of your little red bar here. Mark this time point, this episode. So 9 episodes down the line, when Chloe's like, I think something's gonna be fine. Remember this moment.
Jesse
We're all
blows
being
your brains.
literally eaten alive, and Jesse blows Chloe's brains out.
So
I'd be so happy.
that way you can be mad at Jesse.
Yeah.
So
Please
you're gonna,
kill
First
me.
I'll blow my head out, and then I'll blow your head out.
Yeah,
Someone comment a timestamp to this
so
moment.
you're gonna roll.
please shoot
You're
me.
gonna roll opposing diplomacy checks. Yours is at a negative. What did I say?
20.
20. Yours is flat
So I get
because you're essentially trying to talk her out of it.
So I'm not trying to do the score, I'm just trying to beat her score.
Both.
That is
So hold on. What did you fail?
I'm gonna do a sigil
Okay.
reroll.
So
I want you to kill me.
So, in the event of an attack or something, in an opposing roll, if the attacker fails, the defender doesn't have to roll. So right now, we're trying to see, does Chloe convince
that is 100.
Jesse to kill her in the event things
Is
go
that
bad?
100?
That's 100. 100. I do another sigil for this. I can't.
Do you really want to wait on a conversation?
Yeah,
This will be your second sigil you're
this is
spending on.
very serious.
Okay.
Don't waste another one, honestly. If you fail, don't waste another one.
100.
It's just a
Okay, I still fail, but it's a better fail.
So you don't have to roll.
Kill me.
So you hear, Jesse,
Ah.
if things go bad, I want you to shoot me. But you don't feel moved to do that whatsoever. You're like, she's laughing, like, oh yeah, if things go wrong, blow my brains out. Ha ha ha, nervous laughter.
Please.
So she has not convinced you whatsoever to make sure that that happens. Do with that what you will.
If I continue talking, can I
Do you not like them?
I'm like, right.
No,
No, seriously, hear me out. I want the most fast, painless death.
She turns up the Sorry, I can't hear you over all this radio.
Like, I know we're getting pretty dark here, I'm kind of dark 24/7. But like, I don't think you understand. I think about this monthly, so this is like a time where death is around. So I want to. Oh my god, this is so
Do you need
sad.
help?
I'm just talking. Okay, you never know when a murderer is gonna come in and machete you. I would much
I like a
rather.
bunny.
Yeah, Jesse's like, hey, there's birds.
That cloud looks like
It's
a
just
cloud.
super awkward conversation.
I'm like, okay, never mind. I won't talk about this. But
We can talk later.
music.
All right, so we're gonna go back to the map as you just kind of continue to follow along the Humvees and the MREPs.
I'm waiting for like.
Eventually, I'll figure out how to use Google Earth properly.
I saw.
Never.
You're
Then he
just
was very
following
gentle with it
along,
again.
just long stretches of road and hills, and loading. A lot more road. Keep forgetting that Vegas is as desolate as it is.
As far as packed as we are very desolate.
On the outside, there's like, and you see the occasional turn off and the occasional car, but it's getting less and less as you get further along your destination. And you're all familiar with Montrose, and you know roughly where you're going and where it starts to hit populace. You have, when you come to this roundabout, that's where you know the signs of actual like civilization.
I know that roundabout.
Yeah, there's like a tourist stop.
So you know there's,
Bathrooms, etc., etc.
you know there's the lodge off to the left,
Not yet. Lodge is further down.
You can hike up to there.
the visitor center, and then to the right, I think is where you go to Lee Canyon, or is that the
Yeah,
next
it's
one?
campgrounds.
Yeah, campgrounds. So as you come to this roundabout,
Whoa, there's that way, and then further down there's another.
Yeah.
See,
there's a bunch of.
around the mountain right there.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the trails to go up around it.
So as you come to this point, you see some traffic kind of plowed into each other, and being that you're following, you hear again the very familiar da 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 of the 50 cal from the lead Humvee, and you see Mitch and Gabe and Matt. You see that tracing the line of the barrel, basically obliterating 3 or 4 zombies that are standing kind of near these crashed vehicles. And it looks like, you know, Americans are really bad at using roundabouts to begin with, and throw on top of that the zombie apocalypse. People probably aren't going to follow the rules of the road, so people crunch into each other, and then you can tell they were kind of accosted by a group of zombies. So roundabouts here, you see this as you're coming up, and you see the lead Humvee just mowing down these zombies with efficiency, just like you saw before. It's the lead Humvee. This is not Jesse. This is not Apex as you've met. He's in the chase Humvee. So you haven't really talked to anybody in the lead Humvee. So they mow these ones down, and they continue around to the right, and they continue along this road.
So just further up, not towards the visitors.
Correct. They're not really slowing down a whole lot. They're continuing along a very specific path.
That's fine with me. I'm more impressed that Google Maps got a shot of that parking lot with no cars in it.
I know, right? So I passed
Right.
the Google Earth car yesterday, and I waved. I was like, ah. So I was in
You blurred out face.
no. I was in uniform, so I'm hoping at some point in time I will be on Durango, like finger guns.
They usually blur your face out though,
That's okay.
because I've been on them.
Really?
So
Yeah.
Lucky.
you continue along Kyle Canyon Road.
Kayakin Road.
You continue along, and it's the same thing. Like as you get further in, there's less and less cars. There's less and less traffic. It looks.
More zombies.
Well, this area is not really populated. This is all just like
Hotel.
hiking trails
That's what
and
that's.
pretty much. I mean, honestly, that's hiking trails and campgrounds. There's not a whole lot over here.
There's a hotel right there, isn't it?
Oh, we passed it already.
Yeah, this is further south.
Oh.
I'm sorry, the right side of that place looked like someone couldn't figure out which way to drive and just left more on the left side of the barrier than it did on the right when they figured out what they wanted to do.
Sure. You just continue on and continue on and continue on. As you come to this Y intersection, those of you that have spent time up here, you know there's more populated area to the left.
It is the town.
It is literally the town of Mount Charleston.
Is it right there, that corner of the,
Right
like
here?
the fire department right there?
Yeah.
Or the
It should
rangers?
be, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know where we're at.
Okay.
Then if you continue up that way,
Then there's houses.
This way?
there's more houses and a hiking trail.
and
This
there's
is
a
this
lot.
is the populous center of Mount Charleston. As you're driving along, you see the gunners, and we're staying on the map for now because we're going to keep traveling on unless anybody else wants to interject. You see the gunners all facing the west or the left side of this road, and you see movement, just as you've seen in the apartment complex on the highway. You see movement off through the trees. Not necessarily easy to pick out, but you see movement. But nobody fires, nobody does anything. You just continue on.
Not gonna lie, kind of rethinking the whole Mount Charleston thing when I realized zombies in the pine trees.
And do you do anything? or
I
just
don't
continue
say
on?
anything. I'm just internally, I was like, you know what? It's not been the best idea.
And you continue on. You just keep driving, and you're following these Humvees.
There's the hiking trail.
These are
Yeah.
hiking trails.
It takes a turn.
And then finally, you stop. You stop outside of a fence. The Humvees pull up. They park next to each other. You pull up behind them, and the MRAP stops behind you, Jesse.
Plows into you.
They don't stop. They just obliterate your vehicle and keep on. You stop.
You're too low.
And then they get you, and
Yeah.
it was just a trap.
You stop on the other side of a fence. Well, the Humvees stop on the other side of the fence. You stop behind the Humvees, and you stop behind so on and so forth. And this fence has been put up across the road, which is a little weird. And on the other side, you see a 2-story brown house. And behind that, you see what looks like water tanks. And that's all you can really tell from here. You hear the Humvees turn off. You hear, Jesse, you hear the MRAP turn off because it's that deep, throatier diesel engine. And you see the military members start to dismount or exit their vehicles. What do you do?
I'll follow your lead.
Should we wait for them to signal us to get out? Maybe they need to let whoever's in charge know that we're cool.
Yeah, that'd be the best idea, actually.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Hopefully we can bring our vehicle in, maybe.
I'll roll down my window about halfway.
Okay. So the MRAP's behind you, and you see the passenger and the driver get out. Again, full battle rattle, all their gear, body armor, helmet, M4. And then you see the red-headed woman coming back to your car. Towards your car.
Yeah.
And she comes up, does a little roll down your window sign.
She's like, why are you here?
So you roll down your window.
I'm just like looking at him like, what the fuck is this? No.
She's like, I'm used to shitty military vehicles. Roll down your window.
I know.
So you roll down your window?
Yeah.
She's like, we're here. This is the colonel's place. Don't know if he's here, but the fact that this fence is going across the road tells me at least he's here somewhere, I think. So your call. If you want to come with, we're going to go check, or if you want to wait with the other women and children, it's up to you. And she kind of, when she says the other women and children, she kind of like smirks a little bit, like she's kind of being an asshole about it.
I think I'll wait till you guys clear it out.
And we're just sitting here.
She's like, fair enough.
I don't have a gun.
So she walks off, and she goes up and she joins. You see, from the two Humvees in the front, about 6 or 7 people get out. You, Mitch, you see Church walk up to your car, and he's 6'4", this big, broad, black dude. Like, not necessarily like straining against his uniform, but he's a big dude.
Right.
He walks over to your vehicle.
Well done,
You know,
Millie.
he's like, he
He's
just,
It's like, guys, shut up.
he's like, probably not the best idea to be making all that noise out here. This is the colonel's place. He used to be our unit commander until he retired. And if anyone can make it to this, it's this son of a bitch. He's one of the toughest dudes we know. And the fact that this fence is up and across the road, it gives me hope. So we're gonna go check and see if he's here. It's your call whether you want to join us or stay here. Either way, we're gonna go check. But this is where we're dropping people off before we head on.
Where you heading?
Base a ways north of here. We heard word we're gonna rally there and maybe do a counter push back into Las Vegas. Sounds like they're gathering troops
Further up the mountain or back that way?
up north on 95. We're here. They're gathering there. We don't know. It's been a while. It's been about a day and a half since we heard anything from that way. So we don't really know anything further than, hey, come to this Air Force base and gather up so that we can make a concerted push.
When's the last time you heard from this colonel of yours?
A couple months before this all went shit. He's our old boss, our old CO. He's one tough son of a bitch. So if anyone's alive, it's him. And at the very least, he's a survivor. So I guarantee he's got this place loaded. Or whatever the fuck going on.
You two want to stay here?
You're not going there. I have the gun, so if you're going, I should go. Unless you want the gun.
I'm going with the guns.
And Church just kind of smiles.
I'd rather you stay here with a gun. Are you leaving any of your guys here?
We're leaving the gunners up on the Humvees, on the 50s.
Look, see, they got the big boy guns. They'll be okay. Tell you what, if something happens, shoot, and I'll come over.
I'm pretty sure I hear the 50 cal for your mom.
So Church, he's like 6'4". He's a big dude. Kind of leans down and looks at you in the back seat.
Hi.
Shotgun a third of his
Yeah.
body weight in his lap.
You gonna be okay with that thing?
I can handle myself around a gun.
Remember that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where the midget fires the shotgun to a cannon and like launches himself?
I can handle the gun.
Remember the video of the one that like shoots the shotgun and it just like is gone from her hand and she's looking around for it?
He just looks. He's like, "All right, young blood, just keep it pointed away from me and mine."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what the Hello Kitty backpack next to me.
It's also too bad. Oh,
He does kind of give a curious glance at the Hello Kitty backpack and just shrugs and says,
I take what I can get.
he just says, "Fucking millennials." And then he walks back towards his group. They're grouped up they're at the fence line right now.
What are you gonna do? Bite his ankles?
Yeah.
So you see
Oh, thank you.
you see minus the guns, you see 6 military members dressed up, gathered at the fence line. You see Church and a bunch of other individuals you are not really familiar with. You're the only person you have talked to, Mitch, is Church.
You guys
But
stay
Jesse,
there.
you see Amber heading towards a group of people you have no idea who it is.
I'll get out of my car and I follow behind.
All right. Is anybody else going to go, or are y'all going to stay in cars?
I mean,
I'm staying.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in my car with
I get on
the car on.
Yeah, my car's still on.
Okay. So y'all are chilling in the air conditioner. So you get out and you head up towards the group. So as you walk forward, again, you see they're all armed up. You know, M4s, sidearms, full body armor, helmets, the full shebang back. And
And
they're all
I'm standing here in a black trench coat, lower length trench coat.
Yeah.
And I've got swords sticking up from my back.
There's no judgment. Warrior's a warrior. So you come to this fence line, and you see Church. As he makes his way to the fence line, everyone else kind of like parts away a little bit. Like, you're not super familiar with military rank, but you can tell that everyone tends to defer to him. Like, he's making his way forward, people are moving out of the way. And he gets to the fence line, you see him kind of looking. He says, Amber. And you all see a redheaded woman make her way to the front. He's like, get me through this fence. She says, yes, sir. And she pulls out some bolt cutters. She works her way, clips through the connectors between the sections.
Electrocuted.
Yeah. She should have touched it first. But she clips her way through, and they push the gate out of the way. And Church looks back at the group and goes, all right, everyone eyes sharp, heads on a swivel. If you see these fuckers, aim for the head. You just, yeah. And you pull out your sword, and they all kind of look back at you. Like, and one of them takes out his 9mm hand, like kind of goes to offer it to you. It's up to you whether you take it or not.
two-wheel that shit.
Big ass swords.
So you take a 9mm. So you now have a 9mm with a full clip. 12 rounds.
I got this.
I'm just looking, I was like, fuck, I should have gotten out.
I wish I had guns.
I have a gun. So nice.
So
Take it from you.
And
as the teams go through the fence line, they break off into two distinct groups. Everyone has their weapons up, and they're sweeping to the left and to the right of this two-story brown house. And as you make your way, you're kind of following behind. More familiar with your swords than you are with the gun, but you don't want to look like a bitch in front of all these military people. You're just like, I know guns.
Rifles I'm good with.
What is
I am
this?
not.
Thanks, I'm decent pistols.
You're like holding it by the barrel, ready to club stuff. You see, on the second story, a sliding glass door open. And a middle-aged man step out. Shoot the colonel! That's like,
Oh gosh.
It's okay, I won't hit him anyway.
he steps out on the balcony, and everyone kind of stops. And he puts his hand on the railing. He's like, figure you boys might show up. And Church says, yes, sir. Shit's going sideways. We got civilians, women and children, and some others. We're thinking this might be the place to kind of set up. We're headed up north to the Air Force Base. Just, hell, you stay here as long as you like, as long as you're useful. Go greet your people. Get them in here. Close that fence back up. Y'all fucked up my perimeter.
that is when I leave because I'm not used to it.
So Church,
scary.
so Church nods, and you see him look back at the vehicles and give a hand gesture. You hear the Humvee shut off. Jesse, you hear the Humvee shut off and the MRAP shut off. Gabe, you're still the passenger. You hear all the vehicles shut off. And you see the rest of the military people start to funnel out. In your rear view, you see from behind the unwrap, 2 military people hop out, and then you start to see some women, some kids, a couple men, but they also are funneling past your car towards the fence line.
We going?
Yeah, I have to open the door and get out.
Roll up the windows, get out, lock. Because in my head, it's like, we still have our food in there.
Yep.
Locking it up.
Yeah, one day we'll come back for it after we get things in.
Have my knife to my side, my gloves.
Where's my pocket knife?
We're gonna come back and they've like scrapped our cars like fucking Jawas from Star Wars. You come running up and they're like, BT! They're like running off with some fucking hockey.
Chloe's like, no, my Japanese.
Give me that shotgun. Give me my pocket back.
Just a few hands for that one.
So y'all make your way out of the vehicle and kind of join the stream of people heading through this fence line.
Do people, so do I have like am I just holding, do I have like a strap?
There's a strap. There's a
Okay,
sling.
cool.
You can sling it
Shoulder.
basically.
Yeah, sling it over.
Yeah.
I'm getting looks from like everybody. Just me, the
This
little,
kid.
the little man I am,
Well,
having a shotgun. I know it's still like
Yeah.
but it's still weird.
so you're surrounded at this point, joining the stream. There's like men and women and children around you, and you see, some of the men have like shoulder holsters with pistols sticking out of it. Some have like 38, some have like 9mm, just an assortment. Some of them just are carrying like sticks or baseball bats, and basically none of them look like geared up like the people that are around you. A lot of them have backpacks on. Some of them are carrying like suitcases. And most of the women are carrying like a kid, or they're carrying a suitcase. And you're just joining the flow of humanity as you go through these gates.
I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that at all.
Can I look around to see if any women are like trying to hide a scratch, a bite, something?
Roll me perception -10.
Can I do the same?
Yes. Anybody that is in this can roll me perception -10.
7. I passed with a 7.
Okay, so
And I'm standing over with military guys.
yeah, you're close to the house. So Matt, you see one of the men. He's dressed just like khakis and a polo. It just looks like your average business dude. And
Yeah,
he's
one
walking
story.
with a woman, and the woman is carrying a child, and the man is holding the hand of another child. She looks to be about 6. The woman holding maybe like a 1 or 2-year-old. And you see him, his right hand, he's holding the child. His left arm is kind of like tucked in close to his body, and it's wrapped like he's got the backpack on, and it looks like he has like a jacket draped on top of it. And he looks. What did you roll?
A 7.
7.
So only nothing huge.
So you see that he's holding his arm in like a weird fashion with a jacket draped over it. But he's kind of looking around and holding the hand of his kid.
Okay. If I see him look around, I'm gonna make sure to look away and look back the way, like look forward, because I don't want him to know I'm looking here.
But he's wearing a blue polo and khakis. There's a logo on the left breast, but you can't really see where it is from this
Sears.
angle.
Yeah.
He's wearing a blue polo and khakis.
He said his name is Jared from State Farm.
Here, I was thinking.
Who would be next to you? Which one of my friends would be next to me?
Because you're in the car with Gabe, you would have gotten out with Gabe. He's essentially next to you as you're walking home.
As we're walking, I'm going to whisper. There's a man. This man holding his arm. This man holding his arm. Maybe a scratch. I can't tell from here.
I want to ring that up to the people carrying.
Yes, and I will tell them when I get the chance. But I trust you more than them, so humor me. I'll tell them when you get up there.
Just don't know what you want me to do.
I'm just telling you to be prepared.
In case he gets hit by a bus, that way you know about it too.
Ah, no, do it.
Pull them up.
Oh
Those damn elusive buses creeping through the trees.
The wild buses.
Yeah.
They're rabid.
no. And then after all, just every now and then, like keep an eye out, and then people around me just keep on walking.
Yeah, looking around, I mean, everybody has the same kind of look. Like, half of them look just shocked, just like this dazed look of just incomprehensible fear and confusion, and then some just look just terrified.
And how many people?
So
Roughly?
you see about 12 from just rough count. You see about 12 people that are not garbed up in military gear. You see about 12 people, like family members. You know, obviously some of them are small kids, so they would like sat labs and stuff. You see about a dozen people, plus the military, and they're all making their way through these lines. Now, Mitch, you're closer to the hut. You see the old man. He's just kind of standing, watching as everything goes on. And you see the military people, they kind of form like a cordon. They're sweeping outside, letting the people kind of funnel through them. Jesse, as you're walking along, is there anything you want to do?
Well, that was my thing if I wanted to see if I can spot anyone, but I didn't. So
You,
I'm just gonna.
yeah, but you
looking
see,
out, I'm gonna start getting closer to people I know.
Yeah. So as you make your way, you're actually going through the actual break in the fence line right now. You see the same thing. A bunch of people that look like you feel. Scared, confused, kind of, you see some that look relieved, like maybe they've been through some, you don't know, and now they're in somewhere that's safe. Especially those with kids.
Yeah.
The people with kids look the most relieved out of the whole group. You see 3 sets of parents with kids of varying age, between babies that they're carrying, not necessarily babies, but like toddlers that they're carrying, to maybe 8 to 10-year-olds that they're walking next to.
Well, I guess I'll like gather with them and I'll say, let's go get Mitch back. Let's go gather back up with him.
Chloe, as you're walking along, is there anything you want to do, or?
Oh, I would just go try to find Gabe and Matt.
Okay, so you kind of Assassin's Creed your way through the crowd. People are just kind of standing around, and you catch up to Matt and Gabe.
Once she gets closer, I'll make sure like she stays close by us.
Okay.
If you start to move.
Oh, I'd be holding your guys' shirts or something.
Yeah, you put your arm around Chloe, like protectively, not,
Yeah.
just not like forcing her forward, but just so that she stays with you. So as y'all make your way forward, you look back and you see that the military people are watching. The last civilian comes through. One of them pulls out, some chain, or they pull out some zip ties, and they fix the fence essentially, like a quick fix. It's not permanent, it's not perfect, but they secure up the fence. And then 2 of them stay behind, and they're standing near the fence line, guns at the ready, looking down the road that you came up. And looking towards the house, this is essentially like the end of a cul-de-sac. The road ends, and you see, again, those of you that are coming up to it now, you see what looks like big tanks, potentially water tanks. And you see a 2-story brown house. You see an old man, very close cut, cropped hair, very lean, very tan. He's standing on the 2nd-story balcony in fatigues, camouflage. And you see him kind of just looking out over the crowd. You see those of you that are towards the rear, you see Mitch standing towards the front with several military people, and they're all looking up at the military man. And as you all gather up, the man on the balcony starts to speak. I know most of y'all, but I know all y'all. But those of you that I do know, I'm assuming you speak for the rest. Shit's gone sideways. I can offer protection, but you gotta work. If you're gonna be here, You're gonna work. We're gonna make this place safe together. So if you're okay with that, then you come on forward. If not, you go get back in your cars and you go back the other way. The only way we're getting through this is together. Y'all good? He looks at the military and they all nod. And then he looks to the rest of you. So the rest of you come forward, and he goes back inside his house. After time, he comes out on the bottom floor. And it's getting on, it's about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Sun's, especially out here in Mount Charleston, the sun's starting to go behind the mountain for sure. It's starting to get, not necessarily dark, but it's getting towards that time. And he's like, all right, I might not have enough room for everybody, like room-wise, but there's enough floor space to go around. So pick a spot and make yourself comfortable for now. And in the morning, we'll figure out what's going on. So that with that, he starts to walk kind of back into his house, leaving the door open behind him. Any actions individually you would like to take? Chloe.
Walking.
Just
Watching what everyone else in my group is doing, going up to Mitch, joining him into the group, stuff like that. Having a group talk, powwow, we doing this? Yeah, we good, cool, let's go. Or if everyone says no, then, we decide something else. That.
She's a bit nervous.
so following the group.
My group specific.
Right, you're following your group. Your
Yeah.
people. Okay.
As everyone starts to like make their way in, I want to get one of the, stage. Okay. I want to get one of the armed army men. Sure.
Okay.
And
So you approach one of the army dudes, and it's one of the ones that you saw in the second Humvee, the guy that was opening the gun. And you kind of tap on the shoulder, and you turn it around, and he's like,
Don't do that.
he shoots you in the face! Don't sneak up on the face!
Says nothing.
No. You walk up, and he sees you coming, like,
Yeah.
which is, it's a little unnerving. Like, there's a group of people walking this way, and you walk towards him against the grain, like against the stream. He turns just as you're coming close to him. Like, again, welcome to.
Don't touch me.
I just wanted to talk to someone, and you're the first person I saw.
What's up, little man?
Yes, I was making way, and I'll
So he kind of nods with his head and walks, 10 paces away from the stream of people.
yeah, and I'll walk with him, and then once we get a little ways away, I'm going to tell him there's a man wearing khakis and a blue polo, and I couldn't help but notice he's covering his arm with a jacket, and usually I wouldn't really worry, but in these circumstances it's pretty unnerving. Just wanted to let someone know before anything happened.
He nods and he's like, the one with the wife and the 2 kids?
Right? Yeah.
Alright. Thanks. We'll have the doc check it out. We have a medic with us. Everyone should be screened before we really bed down for the night. He puts out his hand and he shakes. He's like,
Just looking up to him.
it's Smith, but everybody calls me Apex.
Matthew.
Because I'm the best fucking hunter this unit's got. Big old grin. And you see, like, looking down at his weapon, having looked, been around the other army guys for a little bit, like, his weapon has, like, a beefier scope on it. Like, and he's got, a couple of patches on his uniform you might not recognize. He's kind of got, like, a sharp eye. Like, he knew you were coming before you were there.
Yeah.
And he knew who you were talking about. A very observant person.
He's got a bunch of cuts on his fingers from all the attempts to try to rub his eye.
He kind of nods and he's like, we'll have the doc check it out. Thanks for letting us know.
If I could be of any help at all somehow, just please let me know.
Appreciate that.
He's like, you got a Hello Kitty backpack. Chill.
And a shotgun.
I know. He does note the Hello Kitty backpack for good.
And the shotgun.
All right. So as you all make your way into the apartment for the night, you hear in the distance some howls, be it coyote or dog, you're not really sure, but you hear it. And as the sun starts to set, you're used to hearing jets and you're used to hearing traffic. But out here in Mount Charleston, it's a lot quieter. You do hear some screams in the distance, some familiar noises that at this point you have associated with those of the undead. And as you make your way into relative safety, you take a moment to wonder if it's too good to be true. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
The answer is yes.
So, until the next time we get together, stay alive.
Welcome.